What's up, guys? Hope you can hear me with all this rain. Today we're going to be replacing the water pump on a 2012 Chrysler 300 with a 5.7 liter V8 Hemi engine in it. And here we go. I'm going to try to be as quick as possible and as simple as possible with this thing. The very first thing to do is disconnect the negative battery terminal on the vehicle. So let's locate that and do that. For the battery location, we come to the back where the spare tire cover is. All right, guys, so you just got to lift this up back here. Undo your negative battery cable. Put something on there so it doesn't close. And just a quick tip, make sure you leave something over. All right, so you don't lock yourself out of this trunk. Put something like that so it doesn't open, and here we go. Next step is to remove the airbox intake housing or whatever, this whole thing right here. We're gonna take this cover off too though. So let's get this out of the way. Oh, careful not to lose the cap, just like I almost did. Set it to the side. Gives us a little more space. All right, disconnect these things around. For example, this hose. We gotta take it out of here. And we wanna leave this as one whole piece. We're gonna have to undo this bolt right here. And I think it should just pop out. And of course the clamps over here and over here, take this out, or we could try to take this out. That's a whole thing. Unplug this. Okay. All right, so for this you're gonna use an 8mm. We went ahead and loosened this up already. Remove this bolt, put it to the side somewhere where you won't lose it. Then loosen up this clamp right here. It's a flathead or an 8mm as well. Once you loosen that up, you should be good to go. And this thing should come off as a whole. I haven't taken this hose off yet, but let's see. Okay, let's pull it up here first. Pulls up just like that. Okay. Now we'll disconnect this and try to pull this out. All right, there you go. All right, so to remove this hose, what I did is just grab it like this a little bit, pulling and twisting a little softly. You should be able to remove it. All right. Then this thing should lift up as a whole up out of here. And this is getting stuck somewhere. All right. Now twist it. That's how you remove your whole assembly box. All right. Put it inside. Come on to the next step. Coolant drain plug underneath, and I got my trusty friend trying to open up the tab right there. It's kind of hard to get to, kind of stuck by hand, so we're going to try to open that tab and it's going to drain down that line. There we go. Done? We're going to start draining. Make sure you catch it with your hand. Now look at that ugly dirty coolant, and we barely had any too. Once your coolant's fully drained, now it's a good time to take a look at the routing on the belt. So if you want to take a look at that, take a picture or whatever, draw it. We have a little handy drawing right here that we sketched up real fast. So once you drain your coolant, the next step will be to remove your serpentine belt. All right, and in order to remove that, you just put some tension, release the tension on the tensioner pulley. So we'll show you how to do that. Also, don't forget to close it back up, guys. Please don't forget to close it back up. All right, so close your coolant back up and let's remove this serpentine belt. All right, guys, now it's time to remove the serpentine belt. As you can see, we have used our jack and put our ratchet right there so we can have leverage, and you want to go clockwise. So like as if you're tightening it up, and then you push it just like that, and it releases the tension on the belt. Oh, hold on. You see? Yeah, go ahead. It releases the tension on the belt just enough for you to take it off. You good? Mm-hmm. Is off? Is off? Okay. All right, there we go. So once it's off, you can release the tension, and that's how you remove your serpentine belt. All right, let's move on to the next step. All right, guys. Next step is going to be to remove this bolt right here, and it's going to be a 10mm. So let's take this out real quick.
Yeah, I got a really bad signal.
Let's take it out real quick. Here we go. Loosen it up, and then we'll take it out.
Now I can hear you better.
There we go. All right, be sure not to lose this little screw right here now. Put it somewhere safe. All right, move this to the side. Next step. The next step is to remove this electrical connector. You see this tab right here? You pull up on this tab, just like that, and then you press down and pull out. All right. So that's it. You want to carefully pry this out of here. I may have to use some tools, but just be real careful when you take this off right here, okay? Now we're moving on to removing the top radiator hose. We grab our little trusted tool here. My friend is helping me out. All right, there you go, just like that. So once you get it out of the way, we have to wiggle it. It's going to be real stuck on there, guys, so it may take a little persuasion to get it out of the way, but once you get it, it should be easy to go. All right, so let's try to persuade this out of here. All right, boys and girls, if your hose is stuck like that, grab one end and you should be able to squeeze a little hole in there, enough to spray some lubricant. Go ahead, spray a little. That's it. And then wiggle it just like that, and the lubricant should get all around, and you can then just pull it out. Bam, just like that. All right, let's move on to the next step. All right, guys, so the next step is going to be to remove that idler pulley right there, and it's going to be a 13 millimeter. What we've done here is we've used our 3/4 inch ratchet and put the edge of our jack here to have some leverage, and we're going to go righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, of course, twist it to the left, and just like that, you loosen up your idler pulley. Finish taking that out and remove the pulley. All right, so once you loosen it up all the way, take your idler pulley out of here, and then let's get on to the next step. All right, guys, using a 16 millimeter, get your tensioner pulley out of here, and you're just gonna loosen it up just like that, and then you should be able to take it off by hand. All right, here we go. So once you loosen it up by hand, take the bolt out. It's gonna wanna come out as an assembly just like that. Notice those two holes right there. You gotta, when you put it back in, you gotta match those two holes just like that. Otherwise, your tensioner's not gonna work. All right, so keep that in mind. That's how you remove it. Now, let's move on to the next step. And if you're wondering and asking to yourself, why is this man changing his water pump? Look at this. This is that rattle noise that appears every time I'm driving my car. You know how embarrassing that is in front of people? Alright. Alright, guys, so now it's time to remove that bottom radiator hose. We already removed the clamp. Go ahead, buddy. Pull it. We'll remove the clamp now. We just gotta pull and twist. And if it doesn't budge, what you can do is you can always try to go in here with a screwdriver, open it up just a tad bit, and spray some of that WD-40 like I was telling you about. Oh shit. There you go. All right, let's try to maneuver it out of here, and then we'll show you once it comes out. All right, go ahead. After a little persuasion, you can just pull it out. Go ahead, my brother. Bam! That's how you take out the bottom hose. All right. All right, guys. Using a 15 millimeter deep socket, we're gonna remove this stud bolt right here at the top. And as you can see, I got my ratchet here for support. Break it loose. You heard that? That's the bolt being broken loose. Oh, it's dancing, it's dancing. All right, now we can take this off and do it by hand.
There you go. There you go.
All right, so just undo this one. Oh, it comes out just like that. Pull out this stud bolt. Bam. Quick note, since all the bolts, well, some bolts are different sizes, we recommend putting the new pump down somewhere. This is just for visual purposes right now. And then grab the bolts and put them right where you took them out of. All right, that's gonna make it a lot easier to put back in when you start putting this pump back in. All right, so with that stud bolt being removed, our next step is to go around the water pump and remove the rest of them. I believe it's a 13 millimeter. Yeah. Let's see. I don't think we need the long ones for these. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's a 13. All right, perfect. So we're gonna go around the water pump, remove these bolts, and take it out. When we're taking the water pump out, just gotta be careful with this part right here. All right, we don't want to break this metal too, so just be careful. Remove both thermostat bolts, and you're able to just pull out the thermostat housing just like that. All right, and pull out this thermostat just like that. All right, guys. So there you go. All right, folks. Once you have all your water pump bolts out of the way, we're gonna need to get a 19 millimeter, and we want to remove this sensor out of here. All right, so make sure it goes all the way in. If you try to put a wrench on there, you may break it, so just be careful. All right, we're gonna grab this, loosen it up. I don't want the pump to pop out. All right, just go like that and do it softly. Take it out of there, okay? All right, here we go. Then we'll show you how to get this water pump out of here. All right, guys, I'm gonna show you how to carefully pry out this metal tube right here. Be sure to spray some lubricant on that little ring right here so it's easier to come out. This is the way I did it. I don't know if this is the way you guys should do it, but this is the way I did it. I grabbed it right here and I pushed against a little bit to wiggle it, and then I put it right here and I pressed up to wiggle it. All right, back and forth slowly, and then next thing you know, it's gonna come out just like that. All right, so just be very careful with it. There you go, guys. Done. Go. That's how you get your water pump to come out. All right, guys, and just like that, that's how you take out your water pump. So there's the old one, and that's the new one right there. Here we go, guys. Look at this. You hear that? Listen to that. Nothing here. Spin, spin, spin. Spin. And it stops when you spin this one. Really. All right, guys, stay tuned. All right, guys, so once you have your pump removed, what you need to do is you need to clean the mating surfaces of the new pump before you install the new pump. All right, so I have here this little rag. Okay, put a little cleaner in it, and then you just go like that. All right, make sure you get all that nice and clean all the way around. There we go. All right, boys and girls, we are gonna put back the water pump. Got my gasket in already. All right, here we go. I'm gonna guide it down into place. Remember, be careful with this metal tube. That's my sensor. Let's go with that. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our stud bolt. We're gonna put it in the middle until we're able to locate. There we go. All right, we get this one hand tightened, and now we're able to maneuver the pump around if we need to. All right. So let's get this one on, and then we'll get the rest of the bolts around the pump. We'll follow up with you. Using your old water pump as a guide, make sure you get your bolts right where they belong and get started. We're gonna get started with this one on top. All right, so once you have all your water pump screws tightened up real nice and well, it's time to put it back together. Put the new thermostat in. That's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on a new part to show up. We're gonna install the new thermostat, and then we'll put it together. All right, here we go. This is what it looks like. Bam! Awesome. All right, it is finally time. Our thermostat has arrived. Let's go ahead and there you go, my friend. Do the honors for me. Okay. I believe you put that on here first, just like so, and then we attach the housing, just like so. Let's put one screw in to guide it. Oh, that is what happens, kids, when you look at the phone while trying to put the part in. You miss the hole. Let me see the other one, my friend. Let me move this hose out the way. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and drive those home, set this in place, and put it back on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have the bottom hose attached on right there, can you hold on to this hose like this to the side? We need to reinstall our idler pulley, which goes right here, as you can see. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our idler pulley, put it right here. All right, and we're gonna screw it on by hand before we get the good old ratchet. All right, now let's drive it home, and let's do the tensioner pulley. All right, so there you go. You should tighten that up. Remove your 13 millimeter, and let's move on to the tensioner pulley. All right, guys. Now it's time to reinstall this right here, which is your tensioner pulley, and it goes right here. Remember, this little thing, like I showed you earlier, it's got to match the hole in here. So that's what we're gonna go for right now. I'm gonna try to move my hands away from the top so you can see. Get the screw in, line up the holes, and then tighten it up by hand before you get your good old machine and start tightening it up. There you go. All right, we are finally arriving at the fun part, right, my friend?
Put it on.
All right, here's time to install the belt. Here we go. Here's our trusty little drawing. If you want to see it, you're more than welcome to. Here we go. All right, guys, we routed the belt already. We're on that last spot. I'm about to loosen the tension on the tensioner and put this belt on. So here we go. All right, using the end of the jack as leverage, we're gonna loosen the tension on the belt just enough to get it right over that last pulley. We're good? Mm-hmm. All right, now we can release the tension and we are good. Bam! There you go, guys. Water pump's been replaced, belt's back on. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so it is now time to refill the coolant. As you can see, we have left this bleeder valve off because we're gonna fill it up until coolant starts dripping out of here, okay? So here we go. We're gonna get our universal coolant and start up filling it up. All right, now it's time to refill the coolant. Here we go. Let's refill it until it starts pouring out of there. All right, boys and girls, once your coolant has been flushed and it has leaked out of there, you're gonna go ahead and put that plug back in and reattach your air box. Remember, grab your 8 millimeter, tighten it down on both sides, tighten down the clamp, connect everything, and then we should be good to start it up and bleed the system. There we go. Our little connector. Bam. Now we're gonna put the cover on top and start it up. All right, guys, now it's time to plug the battery back in. So let's do that. Let's take this out of the way, just like so. Let's put the battery back in. Put the battery back in. All right. Let's send it home. All right, guys, time to start it up, but that's pretty much how you replace a water pump on a 5.7 liter V8. It can be a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, anything that has a V8 in it. Chrysler product should be the same procedure. So thank you so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe for more helpful content. Thank you. This is a bonus footage. After you guys bleed the system, that's pretty much it. Make sure your heater works, make sure your AC works, make sure it doesn't overheat. Take it for a spin, let it cool down, and then open up the radiator again and check the fluids. All right, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. More content. All right, thank you so much. Have a good one. All right, guys, so once the car cools down a little bit, open up the cap, double check the level, and then just top it off a little bit. All right, here we go. Top it off, put the cap on, and you're good to go. Now it's running smooth. Smooth as can be. That's our Hemi.